Hello and welcome to another webinar with me, Nadine Robinson. I'm once again in partnership with Mayah's Legacy to bring you another journaling session. This time, we'll be focusing on listening to your intuition, enhancing your self-awareness in communication. On this specific occasion, I will not have a video of myself up on the screen simply because I want to remove as many distractions as possible. This is about you coming into this space to do the inner work, one, at your own pace, but two, with as limited distractions as possible. So for today, it's just going to be you, me, and the audio. Let's start today's session. First, let me welcome you. Welcome to your moment of reflection. For the next 30 minutes or so, I will guide you through various journaling prompts to help you get in alignment with your greatest asset, which is your intuition. The goal here is for you to be observant of your feelings and emotions, show up on the page as yourself, and remove the desire to find an explanation in the here and now. The journal prompts that I will provide you with and the exercises that come with it as bonus content are literally here for you to do now, but for you to revisit in future days to come. So before we delve deeper into the sessions, let me just take this moment to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Nadine, your facilitator for this webinar session. I'm a certified life coach and NLP, expressive writing teacher, writer and author. Today, I'm here in the capacity to guide you and hold your virtual hand as we embark on a journey towards becoming in alignment with yourself. This is a journaling focused session, so please take the time to pause the video, grab your notebook, pen, snacks and beverages, along with your open heart and mind, and let's begin today's session. Now that you've taken that time to pause the video and come back, let me just go over a quick acronym for journal, and I want you to carry this through with you throughout the entirety of this session and beyond. So when we think about the word journal, these are the key points that I want you to always refer back to. J is for judgment free. This is a judgment free zone. This is for you to literally fall onto the page in the ways that feel right to you. There is no right or wrong way when it comes to journaling, so do what feels good. The O is for observation. Observe what's on the page, but also observe your bodily reactions to things. So that could be your emotions that rise to the surface, sensations you feel in your body, any beliefs that might crop back up, any things that trigger you that might also come to the surface. We need to be aware of these things. We can make note of them mentally and we can also make note of them on the page. The U is for understanding. Understand firstly that this is a process. This is something that takes time and you don't have to rush through it. Even with this session, you can take the opportunity to pause, stop, and return back as and when you are ready to. The R is for revelation and also release. As you work your way through this session, you'll find that things may come up that you never actually took notice of before, or that you might have put to the back of your mind, or that are just brand new epiphanies that have literally just crept their way up to the top of the surface. You'll be releasing a lot of things as well. That could be beliefs that you have about yourself, experiences that you're ready to forgive and let go, areas in your life where you're ready just to surrender to it all. Our N is about needs assessment. You'll notice throughout some of the journal prompts, you might come to a place where you really have to tap into what is it that I need, whether that's an immediate need or a need that needs to be met continually or possibly in the future. A is for awareness, but also acceptance. Like I said at the beginning, this session is to help you enhance your self-awareness as well as your intuition. It's important for you to be aware of, once again, how you feel, what things come up for you, what experiences come up to the top of your mind, how you feel before, how you feel after. It's really important for you to check in with yourself. And acceptance, embrace yourself along every step of the way. Remember, this is judgment free. So you don't have to hold back, you don't have to dilute anything that you want to say, and you don't have to censor yourself at all. Here, you're free to be exactly who you are. So take enjoyment in that, celebrate that. And lastly, L is for life. This is about you documenting your life. It's also about the life lessons that you're about to learn and unlearn along the way. Overall, your journal is a safe space for you to be you, to honor you, to heal you. So let's celebrate that with every turn of the page. I think it's really important for us to also focus on the language, because language is important. It plays a huge role in how we show up for ourselves and how we present ourselves to others. So within this moment, I want us to make sure that we have an understanding of aspects of growth that we're going to be writing about. Below is a brief overview of key concepts we'll be exploring today. The first is intuition. So your intuition is a direct perception of truth. It's a fact, or like I like to believe, it's your truth. It's the truth that you stand by. It's the truth that helps you align up. It's the truth that allows you to be you, to come through with confidence. We're also going to be looking at trust. Our trust is a reliance on our integrity, our strength, our ability, our assurity, and having that confidence in our inner knowing. As much as it's important for us to trust the process, it's also important for us to trust ourselves first. Next, we'll be thinking about discernment. This is about having a degree of being, a degree of sharpness that penetrates insight. It's about having a judgment and understanding of a situation, of a feeling, of a thought, of a belief, of an action, and how we decide if we want to align ourselves with it or not. This leads me to perception. Perception is immediate, or it can be considered an intuitive recognition. It's how we understand the world around us, our internal self, our external self, our environment, how we interact with other people. And a lot of our perception comes from lived experiences. So there are times where we can be biased in our perception. And this is why it's important for us to utilize our self-awareness in these moments so that we don't use our perceptions as projections onto others. Next, there's elements of foreknowledge. So having the knowledge of something before it even exists or happens. This links in beautifully with the importance of our intuition and our trust within ourselves. Our intuition heightens our awareness. It allows us to see that this is potentially something that could happen. This is potentially how you might feel about something, whether that's good or bad. It hasn't manifested itself. It's not fully a reality yet, but it's something for us to be aware of. Lastly, confidence. When we put all of the first 5 things together, they create an embodiment of confidence. Our confidence is our full trust and belief in ourselves. It's a trustworthiness, a certitude, an assurance that we have for ourselves that shouldn't waver. If we listen to our inner voice, trust in our abilities, align our discernment with ourselves, be aware of our perceptions, honor our foreknowledge, our confidence is then almost the crown that sits on the top of our head. So as I've spoken about the 6 key concepts that we're going to talk about, what I've decided to do is have them in 2 categories and with journal prompts or expressive writing exercises that will help guide you through and connect you with these specific concepts. So to start off with, let's think about intuition and trust. Obviously, I explained the definitions before, so now we're going to dig into a few journal prompts that you can use to help you really explore and tackle these 2 specific concepts. So the first is, what does my intuitive voice sound like? This is really important. In a world where we have a lot of social media, there's a lot of people connecting with each other and wanting to engage, we can sometimes drown out our own voice. So when you have that time to be still, really just hone in on yourself, close your eyes, do some breath work, and slowly allow that intuitive voice to remove the gag over its mouth. Is it soft? Is it harsh? Is it bold? Is it loud? Does it carry a certain emotion with it? Does your inner intuition and your inner voice sound angry? Is it fearful? Is it doubtful? Is it excited? Really personify what your intuitive voice sounds like, because this really helps you to tap into it on a regular basis. Also consider, when do I hear my inner voice the loudest? Think about situations where you've almost been stopped in your tracks and you've had to take notice of your intuitive voice. Have you been running away from it? And if so, why? Have you just been ignoring it? And if so, why? Why is it that your inner voice has sometimes had to get to the point of screaming at you for you to take notice? Also consider, what holds me back from trusting the process / trusting myself. This is something that really will take some time to unpack. So I don't feel that it's something that you'll answer in one go. But whatever you put down within this moment, use that as an introduction into that specific question. Also think about, how am I honoring my intuitive voice? Are you constantly going against the grain of it? Or are you giving it space to really speak to you, for you to really listen and to be open to what is being said? Lastly, think about, what am I fearful or uncertain of in this season? How can I meet myself with compassion and understanding? The reason why I bring this question to the forefront is because this hones in heavily on our trust with ourselves. How do we trust ourselves enough that we are able to surrender and release and show up with only compassion and understanding? For some inner work that you can do outside of this workshop, I want you to write yourself a statement of acceptance. So this statement should highlight your strengths. So how can you use your strengths to help you improve or enhance what already exists for you? Focus on your flaws too, and why these are not things that hold you back, but these are the things that make you unique. And lastly, write a few sentences about the trust you have in yourself. This is the time to empower yourself, so don't hold back. Be free on the page. Discernment and perception. Now, this is a task where you're definitely going to have to pause the video and really allocate a few pages for this. This one is really meaty and it's something you can get your teeth stuck into, but it's also something that you can apply to other experiences or feelings that you may have. So I want you to write a dialogic script about a recent experience in which you feel that you didn't trust yourself enough to advocate or communicate your feelings or needs effectively. Now, in this script, there will be 3 roles. One is a character called Understanding. The other character is called Perception. And lastly, there is the voice of the narrator. The narrator is your own voice. The narrator is your underlying intuitive voice. I want you to speak on behalf of all characters and commit yourself to each role when you're in it. When you've written the script, which may take you maybe 10 to 20 minutes, get a highlighter pen and highlight any patterns or themes or feelings that keep reoccurring. This will flag to you what your immediate needs are, what things you might want to say to people, what things you might need to say to yourself, how you can get your actions to align with the words on the page. This is definitely one that will help you tap into that self-awareness. It's one that will make you really think about things from an objective point of view. Remember, there's 3 characters, so you're taking yourself out of one space and putting yourself in another person's space. Be honest here. This isn't creative writing because we want you to reframe the whole narrative. Yes, there may be elements of reframing because you're trying to put it into a specific format. However, let your feelings and let your memory of the situation, the experience, the event be as true to form as possible. Now we are moving on to the foreknowledge and confidence aspect of our journaling session. For this element, I want us to do sentence starters. So with this, I've listed a couple sentence starters that I think that will help you to not only think about things that may happen moving forward, but haven't happened yet, as well as the confidence that you're building and you're enhancing along the way. The first sentence starter is, I am committing to the following actions, and then you fill the blanks in, to reach my goals. This is allowing you to not only set yourself the task of setting goals, but it is also asking you to be intentional. What are you committing to in regards to your actions? Why are these actions important? How are these actions going to help you attain your goal at the end? And as you start making these actions a reality, your confidence will build astoundingly. The second sentence starter is, my intuition has taught me to be. Now, think about what you didn't know before you've really tapped into your intuition, how you were operating, how you were moving, how you were showing up. Then counteract that with the confidence that you have now, even when you don't know what the future may hold. Now that you listen to that inner voice, what has it taught you so that you can show up as the best version of yourself, but also in alignment with yourself each and every time? The next sentence starter is, the best self-talk sentence I will continue to say to myself in this season and the next is. So this is where you can tap into the whole affirmations and mantras. You can do a list, you can do a paragraph, which could be like a little manifesto that you want to write for yourself, an empowerment statement. It can be whatever you need it to be, but allow for your confidence to shine through. Lastly, I want you to think about the ways that you can describe how you would feel if you let yourself be guided by your intuition more often. Now, we're human. No one's perfect. We have our moments when we're in sync and when we're out sync of the things that we're trying to do. We have moments when we're wholeheartedly investing and showing up and doing the work every day. Then we also have times when we wake up and we just literally want to pull the covers over our head and go back to bed. Both sides of the spectrum are perfectly fine, may I add. But there's something about when you listen to your inner voice that the more you do it, the better you feel. And this is why I want you to really settle into this particular sentence starter and think about how would you feel if you let yourself be guided by your intuition more often. Like, what are the possibilities that could come up for you? What doors will open? How would you feel about yourself on a day-to-day basis? How good will you feel knowing that you're using your discernment more, that you're trusting yourself more, that your perceptions are not projections onto others or yourself? This is one that means, who am I when I am at my most confident, when I'm not questioning myself, where I'm very centered and grounded in the decisions that I'm making with the reflection that I see in the mirror? So definitely take your time with that one. And it can be something that you incorporate each month when you do your self inventory. Now it's time for you to take away the last bonus content of inner work. Here I want you to take time to consider and reflect upon your hows and your whys. When you think about the how, focus your attention on emotions and feelings. So how are you feeling? When you think about your actions, how do your actions usually manifest themselves? Are they good? Are they indifferent? Are they bad? Do they need work? Do they lack intention and purpose? Are they overwhelming? Also consider how your intentions behind your words and actions feels and shows up. And when do you apply these attentions behind your words and actions? How mindful are we being? Also consider how your body feels when you follow your gut versus when you don't. This is really important because the more self-aware you are, you'll start to energetically and physically feel when something feels 100% right and when it doesn't, and how you need to navigate those thoughts and feelings. Remember, yes, we communicate verbally, but a lot of the things that we do is through our bodies. So it's very important for us to be aware of the physical as well as the mental and emotional. As you shift your reflections from the how to the whys, think about why you want to make this change. Why is it important for you to communicate in this new way? Why are you ready to meet yourself where you are at now? And more than this, why is it necessary for this to be a long-lasting change? Like I said before, we're only human, but anything worth doing is going to take time, practice, and energy. And when it comes to ourselves, there's nothing more that we should dedicate those three things to. Now, it's important that throughout this whole session, you take your time and give yourself the space to breathe and to think and to feel. This isn't something you need to rush. When it comes to doing the inner work, when it comes to actively being a participant in your life, you have to take the time to be judgment free, to be observant, to be understanding, to be ready to release and figure out new revelations, to be willing to do what it takes to meet your needs, to be aware and accepting of the journey when it's in its peak and when it's in the lowest of the valleys. And to know that this is your life, this is the life that you deserve, this is the life that you're creating, and this is the life that you're going to take forth in this season and the next. Do not be afraid to advocate for yourself and do not be afraid to show up as you are. Take ownership and responsibility of all areas of yourself. I want to leave you with this last affirmation, and I hope this affirmation serves you well. I will continue to listen and lean on my intuitive voice because the purpose of my intuitive voice is to serve my highest and greater good. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Please go to Amazon and check out my 2 latest books, Unfolding with Ease, which is a journaling workbook that is for everybody, and then my debut book, Returning Hope to Self, which is explicitly for women of colour. Once again, it has journaling prompts in there, writing activities, meditations, and beautiful quotes for you to reflect upon. Once again, thank you so much to Mayah's Legacy for having me share this time with you. I'm really excited to hear how you get on, so please feel free to leave me an email or to connect with me on social media and we can continue this conversation. Wishing you all the best. Take care.